Welcome, everybody, to Week 6 Fantasy Football and DFS Outlook. It's good to see y'all's faces again, fellas.
We survived the hurricane.
Y'all did, and I'm glad y'all are still on here on Earth, and it makes me excited for the band to be back together one more week.
We back.
I have to give myself a little shout out, pat on the back. I held it down for us. I did tell
Appreciate
all
you.
the fools out there. They needed to lock in that man, George Kittle. That was my lock. It was by myself. I had called the lock, and what does he do? He goes out and scores 2 touchdowns. So
And he was in the nuts too.
he was in the nuts. So
good call.
Trust the advice.
Yeah. I wasn't super high on Debo. Things kind of happened the way that they did with Jordan Mason going out. So that kind of bumped him up on the pecking order a bit, but it is what it is. So what's up, Jay? Good to see you back, buddy. We ain't seen you.
Jay's back. My man was in Colombia.
Oh, well.
I just went to Colombia. Fell in love with a Cuban. Jay probably fell in love with a Cuban.
found Scarface down there while you were at it, huh? So
yeah, come back with the plug.
So, but yeah, I was excited. I've been getting the Ballers and Briefs brand out there. I don't know if the boys from Sports for You are out there watching, but I showed up on Invaded their podcast last night. Did a little bit of GOAT conversation. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. And then they want us to come back and give them some expert fantasy advice on Tuesday. So we probably showing up. What's up, Casey? What's up, baby? What's up, buddy? Casey is with the boys over there at Sports. He has his own show too. So
how did you help them, Jay? That's what I need to know.
So but I appreciate it. We appreciate all that. What's up, Fresh? What's up, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you here too. So I guess we can just kind of kick it off with the first game that we have on tap for tonight. A little bit of the Battle of the DMV. I'm excited. This game's got me like, I feel like this game's gonna just be like awesome tomorrow. I hope it is, man. I really do. I feel like the Commandos are gonna score more than what Vegas says they are, but
I think they make it a game.
And Lamar Jackson I think he's got to put his cape on it and kind of keep it that like I am the best dual threat quarterback in the league.
I am who you're trying to be.
Yeah,
learn from me.
But I like Jaden Daniels, man. He's led my fantasy team to a 5-0 start, and I need him to just keep the train moving, baby. Keep the train moving. That's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. I hope he doesn't get injured. That seems like the history with the Redskins. So,
I mean, there are people saying that he could be a Robert Griffin III, but I think that he's
that's what I'm fear of, man. Because RG3 went out in playoffs, man, and was never the same.
I mean,
he went out his knee injury.
That knee, yeah. But did y'all hear? This was kind of a conversation on the podcast I was on last night. That the Mike Shanahan said to Dan Snyder back in the day that before he wanted to trade RG3 for 3 first-rounders before people found out exactly how good or bad he actually was. Kind of sell high. And I told the boys over there last night, I was like, that's total fantasy football mentality right there. Sell high when he's doing really well, and then all the flaws that go with him kind of can go out the door. And he wanted to just keep Kirk Cousins around and be his number one. So
that's Wall Street mentality too. I mean, that's a lot of mentalities in life. I mean, you got to sell high, you buy low, sell high. That's the concept. That's where the profit goes. So I mean, there's no differences really in that between the
hard part
and the Wall Street game. You're just putting a little bit more money up sometimes, or not.
You stay in there a little longer thinking it's going to go higher, and then it goes lower, and then you sell low, and you're like, oh, nice, man.
Abraham, what do you mean? Like, which two are you talking about I was comparing? I mean, I'm not comparing them to RG3. I'm just saying that it's coincidental that this guy plays in Washington just like he does, like RG3 did. So I mean, I think in the day's game, if prime RG3 would be different. I think it's a game that lends better to a quarterback like prime RG3, even though that dude kind of had some accuracy issues. But
I think also the system, the NFL is more set up to be a little bit more quarterback friendly. And so then maybe some of these injuries that might have happened previously may not start to happen so much more just because the protection. You can barely even touch a quarterback now without getting flagged for a penalty, basically. But just kind of going back to Daniels, even from a fantasy long perspective, when did you get Jaden Daniels when you drafted? Wasn't that a few rounds in? I think the cool part about him is that he's doing a lot of numbers, even though he wouldn't have been sort of drafted very high from even a season-long perspective. So it's just great to see him jumping off with that Cliff Kingsbury offense.
I think I got him in the fifth round, like fifth round, late fourth. There was a 14 man, so I got him in the fifth. I think it was like at 67. So wherever that ends up in the numbers in a 14 man league. So I got him at 67th pick. So he wasn't early on. I didn't draft him. I think I took him. A lot of the big name quarterbacks were already gone, and I saw him just sitting there, and I was like, all right. And then I was like 2 or 3 rounds later, Terry McLaurin was sitting there too. So I was like, all right, that's just a stack I got to build on, hopefully down the road, and it's actually paid off. So, but yeah, so Phil, what's on the DFS front? What do you got here? Like, what do you like?
Lamar is the highest owned player, highest owned quarterback on the slate. So I will probably play him, but it'll only be in double up and cash lineup. So I won't play him in GPP. Although I think you could still play him in GPP. He's one of those people that you could still, even though he's the highest owned, you can still get different with him because you could play him by himself. Usually in GPP, you're picking a game and you're stacking players because you're hoping that quarterback gets a lot of points to those players you've picked, and you got 3 people scoring. But Lamar is dual threat, number one, and number two, he spreads the ball around so much that, Andrews could get a touchdown, Flowers could get a touchdown, a pass to Henry could get a touchdown. He could run 2 in and break the slate, and yet none of those players that scored a touchdown will be in the nuts lineup because they only got 1 score and a little bit of yards. So
yeah, he sprinkled it around.
Yeah, he sprinkled it around, and that's very possible and a normal outcome from him. So on that side of the football, you can still play him. I probably will. And if you want to play any of the receivers, I guess you could, because Washington's corners aren't that great. Looks like Baltimore's corners aren't that great neither. So, and Jalen Daniels is nowhere near as high owned as any of them. He's only coming in at 6% owned. So if you like this game and you want to touch this game, it's probably better on the Commander side.
I like that too. I mean, obviously, Baltimore does give up quite a bit of yards to quarterbacks. I mean, obviously, we saw it. I'm not comparing Jaden Daniels' passing skills to Joe Burrow's, but I mean, let's just be honest that they've made. And now we thought that was going to play lower. Actually, we called that last week that it was going to play lower, but it ended up playing way higher than what we thought it was, because we were like, oh, it's a division game. They really don't hardly ever do much. But Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow and found a way to put lots of yards up on the board. So Jaden Daniels, I think his passing could come into play here for sure. I mean, obviously everybody's like, oh, you can run, but I think his passing ability.
And it looks like McLaurin and Flowers are coming in about 14% owned. So they're kind of high on the ownership. But I think if you're running Daniels, you should run them with McLaurin. They're becoming like a dynamic duo, building that chemistry. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about game stacking, team stacking. Pair him with somebody, even though he's also a dual threat quarterback, so you don't need to with him, but I think he likes McLaurin enough that it would pay off to stack him.
I like Ertz. I like Zach Ertz because of the way that Baltimore is giving up yards to tight ends too. I mean, it's not.
That's good. He's not high owned either. So let me see. All right, he's up there, but he's not super high owned.
Let's see what his targets were last week.
I think he has a good matchup. What are they ranked against the tight end?
Like 27th or something.
Yeah, 27th. So
I mean, he had 8 targets last week. What's weird is like he had 8 targets but 2 receptions. I don't know what that was weird. That was weird, but that's not very Zach Ertz, and that was against Cleveland. So,
Jay, you think Baltimore is going to be behind? That's interesting. I think that's what limits Lamar's upside is I think that they'll be playing from ahead and he's not going to pop off.
I'll give you some injuries here. Jordan McGee, Commanders linebacker, questionable with a knee, but he was full go. F.A. Obata, defensive end, a leg injury. He was a full go. Tyler Owens, their safety, is out with a shin injury. B-Rob is questionable with a knee injury, and he did not practice on Friday. And then for the Ravens, oh my God, they're like beat up.
That probably boosts Daniel's upside even more. Brian Roberts been injured and Ravens being beat up.
Malik Harrison, linebacker, out with a groin injury. Marlon Humphrey, their number 1 corner, is questionable with an ankle injury, and he was limited in practice. Arthur Mollett, their other corner, is out with a knee injury. Their left tackle Ronnie Stanley is questionable with a toe injury, was limited in practice, and a Broderick Washington, one of their defensive ends, is out with a knee injury.
That's significant on Baltimore's part. So it significantly increases Jalen Daniels' upside.
Yeah, I think Daniels looks nice though. He looks nice.
Spencer? Talking about the Saints quarterback?
Yeah.
I'm not going there. I'm one of those people I gotta wait and see. That's because I put all my eggs in one basket. Because I only play 20 max. If you're playing like 150 max and you're doing 150 lineups, sure, try them. But I do 20 max and I'll put all 20 lineups with 1 quarterback or 2 tops. And I think I know room for the Rattler in there. I mean, that game could get sneaky freaky.
I think that he's going to have to throw it. He's going to have to. And that's what he's a throwing quarterback. I mean, he's let's just be honest. And I don't know how much you know about him, Phil. I know you don't watch a lot of college football. So he's basically he was Caleb Williams before Caleb Williams got to Oklahoma. And then he became kind of poor man's Caleb Williams. So
I'll tell you what about that game.
Yeah, Jay.
Since it's not one of those games that we're like focusing on, Godwin always eats against us, and Mike Evans does not. Mike Evans and Lattimore will fist fight on the field before either one of them get you any points. They will get themselves ejected out the game. But Godwin seems to always eat against us. If you're going to target anything in that game, at least play Godwin.
Yeah, no Trey Palmer, questionable Jalen McMillan. I mean, that's just kind of thoughts on there. And then for you guys, no Cesar Ruiz, your starting guard. No Lucas Patrick. I mean, Kendre Miller, Pete Warner, your starting linebacker. I mean, you guys are beat to hell, dude. No Willie Gay. Willie Gay was actually practiced. No Will Harris, safety. No Taysom Hill. You guys are beat the hell up, dude. Like really bad.
Carr and Taysom Hill
beat up.
So it might be a Kamara eat game too. Spencer being a rookie, he might dump off to Kamara a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. And Shaheed was kind of Shaheed was limited in practice all week, so I don't know. It doesn't really say what for, but I know he was kind of on and off. So, and that's why. And you guys have like a 19-point team total, so I'm.
Oh, that's a good bet. If that's all they got Kamara at, then I might bet a shit ton on that. I'm pretty sure he'll fill the pass rush and just dump it off to Kamara.
It works
3 times in the first quarter.
That's
what rookie quarterbacks do. They go to tight end and they go to running back because they're shorter routes. We get rid of the ball quicker to them.
What was they played the Bengals last week? I know Gesicki didn't do shit.
Damn, dude, no way. No way you're that much of an addict, Jay. Yeah, I definitely don't play every game. That's why this podcast is limited to the games with the highest game totals, because those are the ones where you stack that show up more often than not in the winning millie maker lineup. I don't know why I can't say that. Because Vegas has them scoring high, a lot of points get scored in them, a lot of fucking points to the fantasy players.
It just makes it available, right? Like the availability of a DFS players. That's why you like targeting those games, because
it definitely happens. Definitely goes way under. That's why you got to find the right one. There's 5 of them this Sunday. 5 games, essentially, if you're counting Tampa Bay and New Orleans. You got the Washington and B-More game. You got the Arizona and Green Bay game. Tampa Bay and New Orleans, if you think it's going to go high. I kind of think so, too. I put it on my list. Detroit and Dallas, and then Atlanta versus Carolina. And Atlanta versus Carolina necessarily isn't like a high scoring, but Atlanta should scrape the curb with them. So it could be high scoring. We saw Atlanta scored on almost every drive against Tampa Bay. Same division, much better team than Carolina. So you just got to, if you're doing 150 max, dude, do a quarterback from each one of those games. Do like 30 lineups to each quarterback. And stack different players in each one.
Yeah.
Find your hot spots. Find your groove. If you're doing single entry, like me, I do a lot of single entry. I got to take a stance somewhere. So I'll make a couple lineups from like each game. I'll look at, how high certain players are owned. If they're really high owned, I'll try to stay away from that lineup because I'm trying to win it all. And I'll just try to find the one I like the best, and I'll put it in my single entry. Yeah, I like single entry. It brings out the skill in players more than.
Abe, are you playing? Are you playing on DraftKings, right? I'm assuming you're playing on DraftKings like we do. I mean, or are you? Because we've had people come in here and say that we don't talk about FanDuel that much. So we really don't, because we don't like the scoring there. So that's what I'm asking about. But I was just looking to see. I mean, Lamar is the actual the highest fantasy quarterback right now is Lamar Jackson. The second highest fantasy quarterback. The second highest entry. The second highest fantasy quarterback right now is Jaden Daniels. So there you go. That's why this game. That's why these guys are up. That's why. Yeah, because total points for the season, Lamar is 124.5 and Jaden Daniels is 113 in the quarter. Or 113.
Oh, you're talking about that. Okay. I thought you were talking about ownership.
No, I'm just saying like total points scored, like these guys are putting up fantasy points. That's why like this game looks good on paper. So
to be honest, in my single entry, I'm probably going to focus either the Dallas game or the Green Bay game. And I have no idea which side I'm gonna be on yet. Mine comes down to like ownership. I don't want a lot of ownership in my lineup because I'm trying to win first place. I'm not trying to just come in the money. If I'm trying to come in the money, I'm doing double ups and head to heads. That's easy all day long. But Dak is the third highest owned quarterback right now. Jordan Love is the 5th. And Kyler Murray is literally one of the lowest owned quarterbacks. And I don't know why. And I think that's a good spot to focus in that game that, he could break the slate, especially with that kind of ownership.
Yeah.
We ain't got there yet, but
Yeah.
single entry is like my bread and butter. So,
I mean, that's the next one. We can go there.
all right.
Everybody, we will, you guys got questions like Bronson? We see your question. We will,
I think somebody else had one above too. Dylan,
yeah, Dylan knows. We'll get to the questions at the end. So we appreciate you coming back, Dylan. And we'll hop on those at the end, I promise.
Why do you love AJ Brown? I want to know that.
Because he just came back.
And but it's against Cleveland.
It's because of what Jaden Daniels did to them last week. Cleveland got their
but Jaden Daniels has been fucking shining. Like you just said, he's like number 2.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has not been Jalen Hurts.
That's what I'm saying. And they have Philly at a 26-point team total tomorrow. That's why.
Yeah,
but I don't think
low under.
I don't think so, because I don't think that Philly has to. Philly doesn't have to run off. Like,
I think that Philly wins that game. I don't think that it's when you're doing fantasy like DFS, when you're doing season long, it's different. I understand if you're going to play AJ Brown and Barkley, I would absolutely. But if you're doing daily fantasy, you want to focus on games where it's going to be a potential shootout. Like not just one team dominating.
Fresh is pulling this shit from I'm outing you, Fresh. You're pulling this shit from a FanDuel's perspective. And yes, Barkley, because he's going to get in the end zone. Yeah, of course. Yes, you're looking for that. But in DraftKings, as you know, that's what we talk about. And you love to point out that we don't know shit about FanDuel.
First off, I have like 7 first place wins on FanDuel. I just don't play it because I hate their fucking interface.
I hate half PPR.
I hate half PPR. I hate their interface. But it's the same rule on FanDuel that it is on DraftKings. If the game is not a shootout, there's not enough scoring happening
Deshaun Watson
for those players to get
carrying them.
They're not. Like Barkley might be a star. AJ Brown, probably not. But both of them in the same lineup, absolutely not.
I think if you're touching Philly tomorrow, it's touching their defense because Deshaun Watson is absolute dog water.
Ass.
Like terrible. But Philly's defense is like the 3rd highest owned defense in DraftKings tomorrow, and then probably somewhere, if not high as or the same in FanDuel.
Dude, I won a first place on FanDuel in tennis. Oh no, it was DraftKings, never mind. And I just randomly guessed. I randomly put some fucking tennis players in a lineup and got first place.
Philly is the 3rd highest owned in FanDuel too. So I'm just saying, like,
the game's not projected to be a shootout. It's projected to be kind of like a low, mediocre game. And like Barkley might get you 1 and some good yards and get you normal fantasy points. And AJ Brown might get 6 targets for 70 yards, maybe a touchdown.
I don't trust at this point. I've gotten to where I don't trust Jalen Hurts. So I think that's.
I like him too, and I'm a big hater of that division because I grew up in a Redskins area, so I don't like Dallas. I don't like Giants. I don't like Eagles, but I like Hurts. I just don't know what's wrong with him this season. So until he figures it out, I'm avoiding him.
Yeah, I don't. It's the quarrels within the team, man. Like him and the coach can't decide if he actually wants to call plays or not, and that's a problem.
Yeah, something's going on. I think it's a little bit out of his control. I'm not going to blame him completely, but they don't look the same. I mean, they scored like 3 points on the Saints, and you're watching everybody else score like 30 on it.
And we thought that game was supposed to be high scoring.
Yeah, I just not touching the Eagles until they start becoming the Eagles that they were.
Yeah, we can hop to the next one. Since we've already kind of talked about, since you already started kind of talking about this one.
This one's got some probably better love to it. Speaking of love.
Yeah, Casey, I know.
I mean, I think they'll win. It's just not going to be like 40-38, and that's what you're looking for in DFS to win $1 million. If you're just looking to make money, you can play all the chalk in the world and just do double ups.
Well, we're sitting here talking, and that game total has dropped. As we're talking, this is the second week in a row we've sat in here and talked. So that game was 43 or actually 42.5. So Cleveland's gone up from 16.5. Vegas shifted the odds to 17 total, and Philly's gone to 25.5. So it's kind of coming back down to earth a little bit. So I just think
Vegas listens to me talk. They're like, yeah, that guy's right. Yeah.
This game is weird. It's disgusting how high owned Reed is. 15% is just, I don't know.
So it's easy to get off of him. I think you got to go to Kraft here. I don't know his ownership though. He's third highest owned. Yeah, I think you got to go to Kraft here. He is a middle of the board matchup against them. I think they're 17th against the tight end. He broke the slate last week. I think he did good the week before.
No, he's been number one tight end 2 weeks in a row. So
yeah, he's starting to look like Sam Laporta was last year, and you just ride the wave until he doesn't do good.
So Cardinals, Kelvin Beachum, their tackle, limited in practice with a hamstring injury. Christian Jones, their other tackle, full practice with an ankle. Zay Jones, no one cares. Matt Prater, limited in practice with a left knee injury. Again, that doesn't really matter, but it does matter for when it's times for kickoffs and stuff like that. So Darius Robinson with a calf is out, defensive tackle. And then Garrett Williams, corner, is questionable and limited in practice with a groin injury. And then for Packers,
that's a hater, dude. You sure tune in. What are you listening for? And I don't ever tell you not to play anybody. I don't ever say don't do this, don't do that. I tell you what I'm doing. And I didn't play Burrow, and he won the millie. That is correct. But I did not play Burrow because Burrow has not been Burrow neither. And I've been making damn good money on DFS long before you and currently this season. So if you don't like the advice, don't listen to it or go watch somebody else. It's simple as that. I'm not a know-it-all. If I was, I'd be winning the millie every week, and I've never won the millie. So no, I follow certain rules that I make for myself that I've learned from some of the best, and it works out. And that's what I do. Cody does the same thing. He's got his set of rules that he follows. He places them, and he wins. His wife does the same thing. She's taking down first places. Everybody should have their own method of doing something. But if you want to win more often, then you should set rules and follow them. If you want to play Jalen Hurts tomorrow, play Jalen Hurts tomorrow. I'm not playing Jalen Hurts tomorrow. Not until he becomes Jalen Hurts. I wasn't playing Burrow until he became Burrow. And guess what? He became fucking Burrow in a game that I thought was going to play to the under. So I missed that. But I did damn good with my lineup.
I'm be honest with you because that was a question last week. Should you play Burrow? And I was like, or Jaden Daniels. And I was like, man, I think you got to. I said Jaden Daniels. And what happens? They both blow up. So they both scored good. So
yeah. So I mean, I can even show who I played. I was very close to like top lineup that week. And if Burrow didn't do what he did, I probably would have been winning it all. So in my single entry, I scored 170 points. And I ran Flacco. I ran somebody that was not high owned. And I'll put it up there so you can fucking see it. I don't know if it'll actually capture it or not. But you can see it's a $200 win playing fucking Flacco. So you'll get it someday. Adios, Abraham. Don't come back, dude. Fucking weirdo. You come in and listen to me and then you complain. Fuck you listening for? Adios. I'm trying to help you out. Please, just like that one guy that came in here, 3 weeks ago, telling me and Cody were idiots about Cam Akers. He ain't showed his face again. Because guess what? We nailed that one spot on. And once again, we didn't tell him not to play.
Fresh was on that train, and Fresh listened to us, and Fresh came back.
So I don't tell you not to do things. I just tell you things that I'm not doing. If you want to follow them, follow them. If not, I don't know. If you're only going to listen to yourself and do what you're going to do, why do you tune into podcasts? Why do you do research? It's like reading something that says play Burrow, and you're like, nah, I think I'm going to play Lamar. Why are you reading it?
Yeah.
And Akers play, we nailed. Spot on. Burrow, we got wrong. If I had everything right, it would be crazy. I don't know. Even the pros don't get everything right every week. Ultimo's not winning every week. Empire Maker's not winning first place every week. It's not happening. But they follow a method that gets them fucking paid.
What's up, War Eagle? We'll hit you in the. We'll get it for you in the end. Okay, so, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like, we got pros in here, but they don't want to tell us what they're making either. So, but I mean, you guys don't want to show us what you got. Hey, you show us that you won a couple thousand, 20,000, 10,000, whatever. Come, please tell us.
If I show them a $20,000 win, they're still gonna call me an idiot. So
yeah,
and I could show you that.
I mean, shit.
I'm doing something right.
My Millie Maker had 170 points in it. It was a Joe Flacco lineup.
That's good. I'm doing the podcast to help people win. I don't do this shit to talk to the fucking camera for no reason.
Okay.
I hope you win. I hope you come in here and you share lineups and you're like, yo, you nailed it with don't play Akers, dude. And I faded him and I won a lot of money. Or, hey, I played Burrow even though you said not to, and I won a shit ton of money. But I also listened to somebody else you said to play, and he was in my lineup and he killed it. Which we were all over that indie game last week.
Thank you, Fresh.
Why I played him.
Thank you, Fresh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't make sense that he's even still in here. You come in here calling people idiots, but you're listening. It don't make no sense. That's like taking financial advice from a homeless person. I'm not going to sit there and listen to him if I think he's an idiot. I'm going to leave. Leave.
Yeah.
By all means.
He's just trolling at this point.
Exactly. He's just talking to get fandom in a fucking chat. There's always going to be somebody, but I'm going to address it. Then why are you in here? If we gave you no plays and you went on your own doing exactly what you do, then what are you in here for? I'm going to make Jay a mod and just...
I just did.
Kick these Bamas out that they're so great, but they don't tell nobody what they're doing. You want to come in here and share
Jay,
your plays?
You're a mod now. Jay,
share
you're a mod.
Your plays. If Fresh, you got any? Ghost, you got any? Anybody got plays that you think are hot tomorrow? Share them, and I'll give you my input on them. You can listen to it. You can leave with it, but it's good. I want to talk DFS. I want y'all's plays as well. I listen to podcasts. I don't just come up with my own shit. I use exposures. I follow my rules, and I follow high game slates. That's what I do. I don't know if it's going to be Burrow. I don't know if it's going to be Chase, but I look at the injuries, I look at the coverage, I look at the ownership, and that helps me make my decision on which person I'm going to. You don't want to listen to it? That's fine. I got no hard feelings for that. But if you got a play that you like, shoot it over. Put it in the chat. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Let Abraham fucking go bask in his super winnings that he won on a $50 single entry last week. Maybe he'll make enough to play in the $100 single entry with me. Back to this game.
So meanwhile, back at the ranch. Jay, yeah. So Jay's official mod now. You talk shit, you're out. No, really, like we ain't.
I like the shit talk, but don't come in here and like call people idiots and like insult people. Why
if
are
you ain't
you
got
listening?
if you ain't got nothing to back up your statements, then don't call
like,
people idiots if you ain't got nothing
to argue about.
Positive input, because that's what we're trying to do. You put things positive out into the world, positive things come back to you. So that's what we're trying to do.
Dude, I'm a lawyer. I love to argue. If you want to argue, let's argue. That's absolutely fine with me. But don't come in here throwing insults and being fucking weird, dude. That's just how you can go sit in your bed by yourself.
We seem really arrogant.
Why? Because a guy came in here and called us idiots. So, I mean, like Casey said, don't feed the trolls. That's why Jay's a mod now, man. Because there'll be no more.
Casey, I'm gonna make you a mod on Twitch if you come back. We appreciate
it. Happens on everything, dude. It happens on Twitch. It happens on anytime someone's streaming. There's always gonna be somebody that comes in and just is real weird.
Ghost. I'm gonna give you this, man. I don't think you've been around. I've never seen you in the show before. I don't want to formally welcome you into the podcast. I promise you, we're not arrogant. When people pick a scab, the scab is gonna bleed. Okay. And that's what you got to expect. You come into somebody else's house and you kind of like stir shit up. You got to expect that to have it come back. So we apologize if to a certain extent, but so
he literally could have just said, no offense. I know, I think you're wrong. I like Hurts this week. I like Burrow last week, and Burrow killed it. I don't like your play on that. But to come in here and be like, y'all are idiots and you don't know what you're talking about and blah, blah, blah. Exactly. Nobody's podcast is going to tolerate that. I don't know who you are.
This statement right here is what you should do. Fresh put it the way that he wants that it needs to be put. If you don't want to listen to us, fine, do your own thing. But if you come in here to talk about it, just talk about it, but don't talk shit about it. So that's what we're trying to make y'all understand. So we appreciate all the love and we want y'all to keep coming back, because we want you guys to win. That's what we're here for. We could be keeping all the secrets to ourselves and trying to keep y'all from not winning. So it is what it is.
I'd rather see y'all win and come back and be like, I just took this down listening to you. That would be awesome. Not I just took this down and you're an idiot.
Because we're not we ain't trying to do this to be rich and famous, dog. Like we're both of us are quite well off. So like don't get that shit twisted. So
I go back to Colombia. I'll take me with you this time. I saw those pictures you sent me.
Yeah. So man,
I like Jordan Love in this game.
It's the first week that Trey McBride is not like the one of the top 2 owned tight ends.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is it because is he nursing the injury or is he healed from?
He's done. He's done. He's fine. It was like a pop-up thing, and then he was fine last week. I mean, he didn't blow up like he did the first couple weeks.
Burrow, he was one of the type of people who was injured and not playing well because he was nursing it. I hate when players, they practice all week and then they play and they say they're not injured no more, but you can clearly see that they're nursing it, and it's mad annoying. Like, why is he not performing?
McBride had 9 targets. He had 9 targets last week against the 49ers. So, and he had 11 fantasy points.
Solid spot here then. Low owned, no one's on him, and Green Bay ranks 24th against them. Appreciate the love, War Eagle. I want to see you win it.
Yeah, when you win the league this year, and I want to see the championship belt or the ring or the money, whatever you get. Like, we want to see that. So we want to see pictures of that shit. But I like McBride, dude. Like, that's a good spot.
And like I said, Murray is really low owned too. So just having them two in a stack would be absolutely identical to Burrow last week. Burrow was very low owned. And
Marvin Harrison Jr. is only 4% owned.
No one's touching the Arizona side of this game, and I don't know why. Maybe someone in chat knows why. I don't know why.
If somebody knows why, is there an epidemic in Arizona?
It's a high over under. It's 47. Green Bay's looking at almost 27 points as a team total. Arizona's only looking at 20, but usually all I'm focused on is the over under. Yeah, that too. You got to take risk with both of these quarterbacks, Love and Murray. They're not consistent players,
KC.
but that's
KC
like
said
when you
that.
start talking about like floor and ceiling, like they don't have a good floor. Exactly. So it's good leverage. Usually when you're doing like GPP, like a big contest of 300,000 people, you're taking a shot at somebody. So they're not going to have like a safe floor. If you want the safe floor, you're probably playing like double ups and cash lineups. The GPP, you're looking at no floor. This guy could get you a fucking 0, but he could also break the slate type play.
That's the reason why you got to. It's high, basically kind of high risk, high reward kind of mentality. So as Bruce Arians would say, you got to risk it for the biscuit. You know, that's kind of really what it is. So I mean, and Marvin Harrison had 7 targets last week. He only had 2 receptions though, so maybe that's the reason why people aren't on him. He had an off. It was his first single digit fantasy point week.
It set his floor. That's his floor now.
Since week 1. Week 1 was 1.4 points. Week 5 was 5.6. But he had in the time frame between 2 and 5, he had 29, 17.4, 15 and a half. So there you go.
Yeah, he's definitely got no like safety net. Neither one of them have a safety net. Where like if they fail, you're losing whatever you played them in. Just know that. But if they succeed and they kill it, you're probably above 80%, 90% of the audience in the tournament that you're in. So if it's like a 300, 400,000 person contest, like one of them dollar entries, you play Murray, it's okay because if you lose $1. But if he hits and he's successful, you're going to be so far ahead of most of the crowd because they're all going to be playing Lamar, who's obviously going to be really high owned. And you're just at that point hoping that Lamar doesn't have a crazy game. And if he doesn't, easy money.
I mean, James Conner had 19 carries for 86 yards last week. And then Kyler Murray had 7 carries for 83 yards last week and a touchdown.
That's a lot.
Against 49ers.
Yeah,
49ers defense way hell of a lot better than the damn Packers defense.
Yeah. Dude, I think there's a lot of like plays in this game. You just have to get it right, man. There's too many of them. McBride, Marvin, Love, Murray, Kraft,
Josh
Reed.
Jacobs on the other side.
Running back, shit, Connor Jacobs. There's a lot of like players in this game.
I mean, I had James Conner and Josh Jacobs in my Millie Maker last week.
And they're good leverage. None of them are high owned. Matter of fact, yeah, James Conner 5% owned.
Josh Jacobs is 9%
owned, yeah. Which is still kind of low. Tony Pollard's 28% owned. Tell me why he's 28% owned.
Because of
is like Tajay Spears, whoever it is, out? Is he going to get the whole backfield? If not, I don't even want to touch that.
No, Spears is he's in, yeah.
So like there is clear spots that we can learn from this and like avoid and get leverage.
They're seeing the reason why Tony Pollard is so high owned is because they saw what Tank Bigsby did to the Colts last week.
Yeah, Tank is
13 carries for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a tank though. I think we said that during the podcast too.
Yeah, we called it.
We called him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Brad for sure did. Which Brad always seems to have technical difficulties on nights that shit hits the fan. So it's I was texting him. I was like,
it's Brad on another account, dude. He's coming in here stirring shit.
Trying to get activity, I guess.
I don't know. I like it. Like I said, I argue for a living, so I like the banter. You just ain't got to call names. or we can put you on stream and spin you in a circle and have a roast session in here.
The problem, my problem on the other side, like now, and this is a question out there because this is a question out to everybody that's watching. Okay, who does anybody else see this same problem with the Green Bay wide receivers that I do? You can't never pick which one's gonna be the number one every week.
No,
And
he's going a different one every week, or favoring one every other week, I should say.
And it's just mind-boggling because everybody was on the Dontavian Wicks train like last week, and that dude like disappeared off into the ether, like everyone said he was going to. And then you have like Romeo Dobbs, who didn't do anything because he was set out because he had that personal issue or whatever. But like he's coming in at 2.5% owned.
What is Watson's injury? And what is wrong with him? He's questionable.
I thought I said, my bad.
I thought he was going to be the clear number one, and it's not even close.
Ankle. It's an ankle injury. Okay, so I guess I never did. I guess I didn't get to Green Bay because of things went off. So Jair Alexander was limited in practice, questionable with a groin injury.
Oh, that makes Marvin Harris so much more love. If Alexander does not play, I think you have to actually lock in Marvin Harris. If Jair Alexander's playing, I think you go somewhere else.
But it's still a groin. It's still a groin injury, man. Even he was limited in practice.
But he's so good, it's unreal.
I'm just saying he's good. He's good, but he's still going to be hindered by that. If he's not 100%, he's not 100%. So
I am like a firm believer in him and Lattimore. Like I feel like if they could shut down an entire backfield if they were on the same team.
Jordan Morgan tackle questionable with the shoulder. Aaron Mosby questionable with the shoulder. Rasheed Walker questionable with a knee. Christian Watson limited in practice, questionable with an ankle injury. And then Devontae Wyatt, their starting tackle next to Kenny Clark, out with an ankle injury. That makes me love freaking James Conner even more because they can pound the ball. And man, I don't know. I'm not bothered by Christian Watson at all. Still, I think that he's kind of fallen out of good graces, out of good graces because dude like always seems to have every time that you think he's going to come back to be the number one, he always ends up getting hurt. So I like that, Casey.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. He's just like trying to build chemistry. He's just throwing it to whoever's open. He's not. I think I was watching the Manning podcast and they were talking about like specific plays to specific players. Like we have to make sure we get Jay Jetta the ball in this play. So no matter what happens in the play, the ball is going to Jetta no matter what.
Yeah.
I feel like Green Bay doesn't have that right now. Like you just said, he's starting to mix it all up, trying to figure out which one he can make that with in the future, which makes it very tough for DFS purposes and season long.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I mean, it just.
But if Alexander is out, I think you lock Harrison Jr. in. No matter what, you just lock him in every lineup. But if he's playing, I think you can go to Michael Wilson. Dude got 20% of the targets last week. He's on the field 80% of the time. 80% of the snaps, I should say. And he's got a good matchup, 21 versus the Green Bay's ranked 21 against wide receivers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just been. He was trying. I mean, Kyler Murray was trying to go to Michael Wilson quite a bit last week. That's what I was watching the game. So, yeah, I got to officially abandon my Greg Dortch because dude hasn't got more than 4 targets in a couple games now. So I'm officially abandoning him. Now, if he's in if you're playing 150 max, I think you need to get him in your lineups just in case. But
his snap count went down a lot too.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
And he hasn't been hurt. I don't know if it's just because they're just not using him like they were, but
Yeah, he went down significantly, and McBride's went up. So maybe their playbook is just focusing 1, 2, and tight end instead of 3 and a tight end.
Yeah. I think that's probably it. I mean, McBride is just he's essentially can do everything a wide receiver can and plus block way better. I like actually I'm gonna probably piss a bunch of Green Bay fans off here, but I like freaking Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals beat Green Bay.
What is the spread?
It's a 5.5 points to Green Bay.
Oh,
they're 5.5 dogs on the road.
Arizona's at home too, right?
No, it's in Green Bay.
Oh,
they're 5.5 point dogs on the road.
That might be why it's in Green Bay. Green Bay might run away with this, but I think like this is a game that's about earlier has the potential to be a shootout. Score after score after score after score. Every time the offense gets the ball, it leads to a score. There's very potential in this game for that to happen. Whether it's a touchdown or not, it could be a field goal, but points are going on the board on the offensive drives.
Yeah. I think so. And guys in season long, I think you have to run I think don't lose faith in Josh Jacobs. He's coming back. He's going to be better. He's just getting better every week. And don't shy away from Marvin Harrison unless you have someone that's just astronomically better. But I don't think that you're going to find someone astronomically better at this point because of the buys that are going on. The Trey McBrides, I guess if you have Jaden Reed, you drafted him to play him, so you're probably going to have to play him because of other buys that are going on. So, but yeah, that's just the 2 cents on the season long perspective because this game, it's just the same way with season long, dude. Like you want guys that are going to score. So, banging will if you hang out with us, we'll answer the questions at the end once we get through the last.
We got a couple more games to talk about, and then we'll answer questions.
So, and if you could kind of give us a little bit more about
PPR,
the rest of your lineup too, we'd appreciate that. That we can kind of walk you down the right road. So, okay, well, I guess we can go to the next one.
Is that Dallas?
Yeah. Dallas, Detroit, and Dallas. I just want to say that Detroit Lions got screwed in this game last year.
Was this a Thanksgiving game last year?
No, it wasn't Thanksgiving, but it was a nighttime game. I think it was like it was during the middle of the week, I think, or it was I can't remember. I swear we were watching it. It was on during one of our podcasts, so it might have been not Thanksgiving, but somewhere something weird was going on because we were watching it, and it was the game where they went up to the line of scrimmage, the goal line, and the Lions had a tackle lined up outside on the line, and they threw a touchdown pass to him, and the refs called it back and said he didn't report as an eligible receiver,
and it showed him reporting.
And so they screwed him. Like, it was not like that, Jay. Yeah, it was like it was. He
literally was on camera reporting to the ref, and then they said he didn't report. Screwed him.
Yeah. So they ended up getting screwed, and it was a Monday night. It was a Monday night game, I think, because or something like that. Because
I feel like it was a primetime game. That's why I was thinking Thanksgiving, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I was thinking it was something like that because I think Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were calling the game because I can remember them talking about it. But anyways, man, I love the freaking Lions here, dude. 27.75 team total.
Yeah, I mean, even Dallas, dude. Hey, you don't hear me say this often about Dallas, but I kind of like them in this game for fantasy purposes. They have a good matchup on paper, and outside of CD,
Jalen
Tolbert,
and Jake Ferguson. I mean, but Jake Ferguson's the highest on tight end on
he's the highest on. But Tolbert's not. You can get him at a smooth 9%. CD is high. He's high owned. The fourth
No,
highest owned.
the Lions will be without a guard. But on the Dallas side, Deron Bland did not practice. He's a corner. They're like number 2 corner. Questionable with the foot. I don't remember if he's played all season or not. I know he was hurt for a while. Kalen Carson, one of their other corners, questionable with a shoulder. Eric Kendricks, their number 1 linebacker, out with a calf and a shoulder injury. Micah Parsons again, out with an ankle, and Nick Vigil, one of their other backup linebackers, is questionable with a foot injury and did not practice. So give me all the offense that the Lions can have, because the Dallas Cowboys have no pass rush.
I like Jahmyr Gibbs in this, and that's all right. It's tough because of Montgomery. So they both could probably eat.
I think they both do.
Let's not forget that Kamara shredded them, and then somebody else did too.
Derrick Henry,
there it is. So both of them could literally shred Dallas, which gets you off the Amon-Ra chalk, because he's high owned. And then, like you said, Ferguson's high owned, but then you got Tolbert.
I mean, the Detroit defense has been actually pretty decent as of late against the pass.
This is an afternoon game, right?
Yep.
It is. So I have this superstition, and like I said, y'all can deny it all you want. It's my superstition. It's not fantasy value. But my superstition is the highest over-under game on the afternoon slate always plays the opposite. That's just like my superstition. If I lock in an afternoon slate game and it's high-ass over-under, it ends up playing like shit. And then one of these other games, like Broncos at San Diego, is the highest scoring, and like Bo Nix is the fucking captain of the afternoon slate, and it drives me crazy. So for purposes of that, I don't know how much eggs you want to put in that basket, because that's my superstition. I probably won't go too heavy on this game, but that's probably me being dumb. This game has the highest over-under on the entire slate, and Dallas sucks. Sorry, Jay.
I can attest to that, because you called this last week, because the highest over-under last week on the afternoon slate was Green Bay and the Rams, and it was 49.5, and the game didn't get there.
Yeah, and I said that too. It's just my superstition now. I feel like it just happens to me. Doesn't mean that it'll happen to y'all, but when I lock
it got to
the
45.
chalk game, dude, I get shit. It ends up playing so bad, it's unreal.
It got to 45, and then the other one didn't make it there either. The other 49 total in the afternoon window, which was the Cardinals and 49ers, didn't make it to 49. They both only made it 47.
And I thought that one was at first. That game started hot and then it slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But this afternoon one, it's probably going to be the Atlanta-Carolina game on some freaky weird shit. Denver and
Kirk Cousins is going to look, because this game is going to be the game that's going to be on at the end of a red zone. We need you to flip over to your actual real local station, because we can't show you this unless you're in the international market, because we're down to one game. That fucking Atlanta Carolina is going to probably be that game. Because they're not going to be showing the Chargers in Denver, and they're not going to be showing Steelers and the Raiders.
Yeah, that's my superstition, Jay, right there. I get like 2 players from the 1 o'clock game or 3, and they all got the flame next to their name. They all popped off, and I'm like, hell yeah, I got Dak, CD, Ferguson. I got all these fucking people in the afternoon lined up, and I'm like, yes, my not so great players fire. So now my good players pop off. No, I end up with like 80 points, and I'm like, this lineup went straight to shit. So I just stopped doing it.
A good play though. Like this is a Brainiac cash play. Play some cash afternoon lineups and have it shit decked out with Detroit and Dallas.
Yeah, because it's gonna be high owned. You could do that.
Because you'll be able to do that in the afternoon for cash lineups, for afternoon 50-50s and double ups. There's a good way to cover you some money.
I like Zay Flowers. It's just tough with Baltimore because he spreads the ball around. I like Zay though. He's got a good matchup tomorrow. That's the one we already talked about. That's a high over under. And Washington's corners aren't like
they're
top
okay.
tier.
They're mid.
Middle of the pack.
The problem
is Lamar, dude.
He's boomer. Like Zay Flowers is pretty much boomer bust, kind of in like. And I mean, in DFS world, that's kind of a good thing. You're looking for boomer bust. You're really not looking in GPP. Let me say it like this: in high big tournaments, you're looking for that for mass entries. But I don't know if he's gonna win you $1 million. I don't know that for a fact.
I think he could, but that's what I'm saying. Is boomer bust, like low floor, high ceiling. Depends on what kind of mood Lamar's in. Is he in a Zay mood or is he in?
I mean,
I'm gonna run the ball.
Last week's Millie was not a Joe Burrow lineup. It was not. No, it was a Lamar Jackson with run naked with a game stack.
A fucking benefit of the doubt, but
it was a game stack. It was a game stack with double stack Jamar Chase and T Higgins.
But I know Burrow popped off, and that shit was crazy because not only did I say it on here that it was gonna be like low scoring, I was hoping it was low scoring. I bet it. I lost my fucking bet.
Joe Burrow was in the second place lineup, but second place tied in 3 lineups, and it was a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T Higgins stack with a Zay Flowers bring back. So there you go, Tommy. There's your answer. He can be there. And it was a half a point difference between first the $1 million and then splitting the second place.
I think he's been in the Millie too. Maybe not maybe it was last season or season before.
You talking about Zay Flowers?
Yeah, but it also might have been a showdown now that I think about it.
Let's see. I have it up. He's been in it once.
Yeah.
So, week 17 of last year. It was Lamar Jackson stack.
Which is crazy.
But that was not they needed but Baltimore scored 56 points against Miami that game. So there's your answer. You need them to score lots of points, and you need Lamar Jackson to put the ball in Zay Flowers' hands a lot. And he was 5,600 at the time, and he got 22 points. So he got value.
4 times
you got his 4x value. So,
and yeah, in a 56-point game, he only got you 22 points. That's rough.
Yeah. And Lamar was 7,700 and got you right under 40. So, but a double stack with Lamar, I don't like a double stack with Lamar. That's me personally because Lamar runs too much for that to be able to get it to. I think it's you running him either naked or with one person. And if it's a showdown, that's a different story. Or if it's a late, your window is very small and you're only having like 3 games, a bunch of 3 games. But in a main slate like this, I don't think you double stack him. I really don't.
Damn, War Eagle, I like your fucking lineup. I might have said that before.
That's why I'm saying he's 4-1 because of us, he says. So
yeah, that fucking lineup is nice. I like Monty, dude. I keep him in. Chuba's been popping off too. You got Scary Terry paired with Daniels. That's awesome. The MHJ, like I said, I would watch that to see if Alexander is playing. I don't think you could swap him out with anybody, though. So I think you got to play him. But
but with this game, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna keep it real. I would say a Lamar double stack never wins.
I don't think so either.
Lamar takes too much from the players. It's gotta be dude on an alternate account. It's the same dude on an alternate account. It's gotta be. Or he called his friend and was like, "Yo, go in there."
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah,
Well,
that's not smart. Lamar takes too much.
Lamar's only been a quarterback in the millie twice since in everything I'm looking at right now. And this list goes back to
That might be true too. Best GPP quarterback on FanDuel. Dude, yeah, he takes too much. So
since
he himself
2021.
is great.
2023, my bad.
He eats. Lamar eats, and because he eats, the double stack isn't going to work. There's not enough to go around to two other people. One other person, yes. Whether it's Zay or whether it's Likely, which I called in like week 2, that was crazy. Called him over the starring one.
So actually, he has been a double stack once in the last year and a half. It was with OBJ and Isaiah Likely, and both of them were like 3,800 and 3,500. And it was against the Rams.
Brian Thomas Jr., I think, is like nursing an injury, if I remember that correctly.
That's in the early game tomorrow.
I think BTJ is injured. I think he's playing, but I think he's injured. Like he's playing injured.
No, he's not.
He's not. You didn't say
Gabe Davis is. You're talking about like Brian Thomas Jr., Brian Robinson Jr. is.
Oh yeah, that's probably who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trolling.
Yeah.
And Deontay is playing. I know. I think I saw he's playing. So I like him in your flex.
Let's hit this last game, and then we'll just dive deep into War Eagles question.
Yeah, I like his lineup though. I think you did a good draft in that lineup, buddy. That's a solid lineup.
This one I think is going to play over.
Yeah, dude. Because sorry, Carolina fans, but Carolina is not it this season, and my Saints are starting to look that way too now, especially now that Carr is injured. But we started like
I told y'all when y'all drafted Rattler that he was going to end up starting this season. I said that I would like to call that. I said one way or the other, either going to get it, Carr's going to get benched, or he's going to get hurt, and Rattler's going to start. I'd like to.
What college did he go to?
He went to Oklahoma. He started at Oklahoma, and then he finished. He graduated or left. Went to South Carolina. So he's played in the SEC and the Big 12. So like I said, he was Caleb Williams, and then Caleb Williams he got hurt and benched, and Caleb Williams took over and never gave it up. So both of them ended up transferring. It was crazy. So like he's a quarterback like Caleb Williams. He's a Lincoln Riley quarterback. So Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Spencer Rattler, and Caleb Williams are all the 5 Lincoln Riley starting quarterbacks in the NFL starting tomorrow. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins has been on fire, dude. So I think Panthers are in for some trouble here.
I feel like Kirk Cousins could light their ass up tomorrow.
Yeah, the only problem with that is if Carolina doesn't make it a game, then does Kirk Cousins bury
get there?
them?
Does he
bury them, or does he take it easy? Do they run it more because they have like a 17-0 lead and they're just running it to kill clock? Or is he going to bury Carolina because they're a rival?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That is the tough one with when you're thinking about playing in like DFS, you're thinking about playing Cousins. Because I think he slaughters them or has the potential to slaughter them, but will he?
I mean, he hasn't really had a great game this season except for when he played Tampa. And that was because Tampa could keep up with them, right? Like Tampa.
That's what I'm saying. They made it a game. Tampa made it a game. Carolina can't make it a game. So
he didn't have a great game against Pittsburgh, Philly. He had an okay against Philly. He had 17.5 points. He had a mediocre game, 11 points against Kansas City, 7.5 points against y'all, and then he had 34. But that
so
was
they beat us because of defense.
That was primetime Kirk. Primetime Kirk. We know he does things crazy in primetime. He's just always been like that. So,
I like that my man still drives like a 1996 van, and he's worth hundreds of millions.
He's made a lot of money.
He's just driving that van around to and from games and practices.
In Atlanta
Humble.
too. In Atlanta too, man. Looking at so injury. Troy Anderson, the guy that got the interceptions and running in for the touchdown against y'all, is out again. Like this dude gets his career day and ain't played 2 weeks in a row since then. One of their other linebackers is questionable with a quad injury. And then Panthers, Jadeveon Clowney is questionable or doubtful. Austin Corbett, their center, is out with a bicep injury. Dane Jackson, hamstring injuries, cornerback, excuse me. Questionable. Josie Jewell, one of their linebackers, is out with a groin. DJ, Deontay Johnson, questionable with an ankle injury. Taylor Moton, their starting tackle, out with an elbow. Their other center, out with a concussion. Ashawn Robinson, defensive end, questionable with an ankle. Ian Thomas, backup tight end, and out are questionable. And Tommy Trimble, their starting tight end, out with a concussion. So Panthers are beat up.
Yeah, that's a lot of injuries.
Yes, KC, it is a terrible place to drive in.
I heard it's got crazy traffic there.
Bro, do you not remember I went and took the bar there?
Oh, did you?
I drove through Atlanta. That was terrible. Right when I got the black truck, I went and drove through Atlanta. And
why did you take? Oh, you took the Georgia bar. That's why.
Yeah. So it was in Atlanta, and it was a nightmare. But
I forgot
that Atlanta traffic ain't got shit on the traffic we have here.
What's good, sports? I like Kamara Irving and Godwin fresh. Like I said earlier, Kamara might get a lot of receptions. If it's DraftKings, he might get a lot of receptions. And Godwin always eats on us. I don't know about Irving, man. I tend to think the Saints have a good run defense, but I think they're like middle of the pack this year. I don't like running backs who don't get passes against the Saints. I feel like they don't do that great. Although Barkley was chewing us up the middle when we played the Eagles. Literally, he was getting like 10 a carry up the middle on us every time.
Let me see.
Doesn't mean Tampa can do that, though. They are a division rival, so tend to know how to play each other.
I mean, Rachaad White has never had a really good game against you guys.
Our run defense has never been bad.
He scored 1 touchdown in 4 games against the Saints. Rachaad White has.
But I like Kamara and Godwin. I don't know about Irving. That's gonna have to be a you call on that one.
At the last minute, man. I think that's a. I don't know. Because what did.
I'll tell you, his ownership, though, if it helps you, like if you care about ownership, Bucky Irving is the highest owned running back tomorrow. And it's pretty high. And it says that the Saints are 13th against the position. So, like I said, I think we're pretty good against the run. We're not great, but in our division rival, I don't expect them to chew us up on the ground. I don't see that happening, but I do see Godwin fucking us up. He always does for some reason.
It's because Lattimore goes to Mike Evans.
Yeah, Lattimore literally shuts down Mike Evans, and they will fist fight and get themselves ejected.
Because
it happens every game.
64 catches, 913 yards, and 7 touchdowns in 13 games. So that's Chris Godwin for you. So every other game he gets about over 100 100 clip. So
100 and a touchdown against the Saints every other game.
yeah, so he had a touchdown in the last game, but in the game before that he was 8 for 11 for 114. So he's due for another 100 at least 100-yard game.
Yeah, I like Godwin tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. And I hate playing players against the Saints because then I feel like I'm rooting for them to beat my team. I hate that. It's the shitty part about fantasy, but
I could tell you on this game right here, there's a guy that I think could end up being a sneaky play tomorrow. And this is if you're just trying to get if you're looking to get somebody in from this game and you don't have a lot of money left. I like Jatavion Sanders. He's a tight end for Carolina because of obviously all the other tight ends are beat up. He's a pass catching tight end out of the University of Texas. And they're middle. Like the Falcons, again, they don't have the middle of the defense. So if DJ don't play too, he's questionable, right? So
I think he is gonna play though. I think I saw something where it said he's gonna play.
Let's see. But
Sanders got 14% target share last week and was on 75% of the snaps, which was a 25% increase than the week before. So that's probably a good play. Except for
5 targets, man.
Atlanta's 9th against the position, 8th and 9th. I'm pretty good against tight ends.
Let's see.
But that don't really mean much because Carolina doesn't move the ball much. So they're going to throw it to who they got. And if he's who they got, then he's going to get the ball regardless.
Yeah, I'm just looking because what Dallas Goedert did a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I guess. He was 3 for 4 for 38. Just trying to see what good tight ends have done against Atlanta. What Cade Otton do last week? Let's look at Cade Otton because that's who I was like. 3 for 4 for 44. So I think you could get 3 or 4 targets, 7 or 8 points out of him, and a possible garbage time touchdown.
And he's 2,600. All he needs is 8 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you get value. He would hit value with 4 or 5 targets and maybe 3 to 4 receptions. And if he falls into the end zone for a touchdown,
if he gets 1 catch and it's a touchdown, it's value.
Yeah,
it's value.
So,
2,600, and then you can spend up somewhere else in your lineup.
I like that. I like him as they get different turdy type play, you know, like
I like that. Off the chalk.
Off a lot of the chalk. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of tight end chalk in the top 5 or 6 tight ends tomorrow.
Another person who seems to eat against the Saints is the tight end Fresh. So like Cade Otton could be a good play tomorrow. He's high owned, but we suck against tight ends. He could absolutely have a good game against us.
That dude has been like in my freaking waiver wire pickups for multiple weeks in a row. So
who, Otton?
Yeah, because no one picks him up, and he's out here tearing ass up. Like he has 12 catches for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns in 4 games against the Saints.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Saints are not very good against tight end.
So he's due for a touchdown. I mean, he's not had a lot of yards, but he's had and a lot of receptions, but it's because the last couple of years since this kid's been on the team, Tampa's played from ahead, right? That was the Tom Brady years and then 2 games with Baker Mayfield. So they played from ahead. And I feel like the Saints have the ability to get out ahead if they just played the way that they were playing the first 2 weeks of the season, you know? But yeah, I
mean, if Carr was in, this would probably be a game.
I think this is what I'm saying. I feel like this you're talking about for Tampa and
Yeah, it would have been a
And the
game like
Saints.
that. I don't know nothing about Spency, so if
I
he can
think
make it a shootout, his game got potential.
Rattler will wing it, and I don't feel like he's a taller quarterback. He's not small. He's not little. And dude, I feel like just if he just hucks the ball, like that's all he needs to do.
When you say that, I picture Trevor Lawrence, and that scares me.
No. I'm talking about he's 6 foot. I mean, he's like 211. So he will get the ball down the field. He's got an arm. He's not like goofy. So I honestly thought he would be pretty good for you guys. So and that scheme, he's good on the boot. So like good on the bootleg play action game. So it should work for him, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing I just saw pop up is Anthony Richardson's going to play tomorrow, so don't want to play Flacco no more, which is crazy. I don't know why they go back to him. I mean, I do know why they go back to him, but Flacco's been filling that role very well. Yeah, we could do some. I think that was it, right? We could do some fantasy questions.
Yeah, so
I think we got to go. We'll do them a little bit in order, though.
Yeah, we'll go all the way to the top.
Full PPR, different leagues.
Then we have one above Dylan.
And granted, season long is not my strong suit. It's Cody's strong suit. So take my advice for what you will when it comes to season long.
Full PPR, different leagues. Okay. All right. Dylan with his different league questions, man. Okay. First, one quarterback, one flex, one tight end. Baker, Caleb, Christian Kirk, Tajay Spears, Andrews are likely. Okay.
The last one's hard. I think it's Baker.
I think you gotta go Baker Mayfield. I don't know. I'm just not a believer in Caleb Williams. Maybe that's just me. He did well last week.
I think you go Baker because I think Godwin and Otten are going to do pretty good against the Saints. That's why I would go Baker.
The Bears, what do they play on? Are they even playing this week? Not on the bye? Oh, they play Jacksonville. Oh, yeah, tomorrow morning. That game's so I forget. That game's going to be so weird. It's always just there because it's in London. So it's like those games are so weird to me. Like we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to come out and like shred the Vikings for some reason, and they didn't do shit. The Vikings
I didn't think that was going to happen. Minnesota's defense is solid, dude. I try to tell you all that.
The Bears defense is good enough to keep the Jags from getting a lot of points scored, and then Caleb Williams won't need to score points. I think Baker Mayfield needs to score points. Possibly. Christian Kirk.
Is that Tajay Spears?
Yeah.
Who are the Jags playing?
The Bears.
Oh, okay.
And Tajay Spears, but I feel like I hate Tajay Spears because you got Tony Pollard to deal with. They don't do enough. They do both each other a injustice if that makes any sense. Like
this PPR though.
He had 15 attempts for 39 yards last week.
I hate Trevor Lawrence, but I think I'll go Kirk here.
The target share for Kirk has gone up. I mean, he was 4 for 4 for 88 and he had 12.8 points last week. So I just think that's possibly your thing. I feel like that Tennessee and the Colts game could be slow. It could be slow. It could be a Tony Pollard game. It could be an Anthony Richardson game. They get Trey Sermon's coming back for the Colts. So like it really could just be slow. Anthony Richardson's playing. It can be slow. No, Joe Flacco's not winging it down the field. So, and Andrews unlikely. Dude, that's the fucking hardest question, I think.
That I don't think anybody could answer. I called likely on week 2, but now I don't know.
I still feel like Mark Andrews. He had 5 targets for 55 yards last week. Isaiah Likely just happened to get the touchdowns.
ownership is likely 2.29% and Andrews 1.97. So like I think people are thinking just like you. They don't know which one. Just wing it.
The targets are still there for both. I mean, the targets are there, right? Like the targets, they're both on the field. You see them both out there at the same time a lot. I just feel like Mark Andrews Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews until otherwise proven different, right?
I'll tell you this: likely is on the field more than Andrews,
but his targets are not there. Like he's not the same.
More. He might be blocking more.
I mean, it's been 3 targets, 2 targets. Lamar's not throwing the tight end the ball like he was. He's just throwing it to him in a pinch because he's got Derrick Henry who is freaking bulldozing through people.
Mark Andrews is also cheaper than likely, which tells me that like Vegas and DraftKings and all who they get their numbers from thinks that likely is now the number one. So I don't know. I'd play likely. That's tough though, dude. I don't think anybody knows that. That's a wing it and hope you get it right. 2 flex, 1 running back.
Alec Pierce, Tavion Wicks, the bait man of Rashard, Tank Bigsby.
Jerome Ford.
Oh, fuck, you already have ETN. Oh, my God.
Give me a second. Dude fired off a hard question.
I like these kind because these are fun to deal with.
9th first to position.
We have seen 2 running backs from the same team go off in the lineup before, by the way. That's just hard because you're hoping for. Well, now with Anthony Richardson playing, I don't know if I like Alec Pierce. You probably got to go back to the Wicks. Well,
yeah, I think you play Wicks. It's just a matter of Pierce or Bateman. 2 flex. I mean, I don't dislike Jerome Ford. He got 10% targets last week, 13% on the season. He looks like splitting the rush work with Foreman, but if it's PPR, he's getting the catches. So he's gonna get you the catches. Foreman's not.
I think you got to play Ford. He's because Foreman becomes obsolete if the Eagles get out to a lead.
As I'm saying, Ford's getting the catches. So I think you play Ford and ETN.
He's got ETN already, so he theoretically could run Bigsby as another run as a flex, but I don't know. With Doug Peterson coming out and saying that he actually supports ETN as the number 1 running back,
I think you should try to trade Bigsby.
You can't this late. You can't this late, but
I think, if people didn't know about that conversation, you could get someone better for him. No point to have him and ETN.
I mean, he's using this as a handcuff at this point, but I don't know if Bigsby's a handcuff because I feel like this is the timeshare backfield now. Bateman. Dude, I hate to say this because you're having Bateman, yeah. You're going to be like rooting against yourself. Targets, Rashad Bateman. You're going to be like, in one league I got the tight ends from Baltimore, and then another league I got the wide receiver from Baltimore. I think you got to go Bateman because his target share went up to 8 targets last week. Go Bateman because I trust Lamar Jackson to get him the ball more than I do Anthony Richardson to get Alec Pierce the ball.
I agree with that.
So Wicks, Bateman
is on the field 8% of the time, and he's getting 6% of catches, 11% on the season.
So he's had multiple double-digit weeks, and then a couple that are like 7. So in the games that play high, Bateman has scored double digits, and this game is supposed to score high. So I would go Bateman, Wicks, Ford, and then if you can sell Bigsby high if you want. If someone will bite on that. So what was it? Sorry, guys. Oh, Bronson here says trade Jordan Mason, Juju, and Ladd for Devontae Adams. Absolutely not.
Did he pick a team yet where he's going?
No, it hasn't. There hasn't been a it hasn't happened yet. Now I don't know if it's going to happen for a while. I know a lot of teams have already been on the phone about him, but I mean, do you have actually? Oh, look at Bronson's picture there. It's a Saints fan. Chris Olave.
Let's go. Who that
Nation there. But yeah, I wouldn't yet. I mean, Mason could be hurt, but Juju, you saw Juju is kind of stepping in.
Remember what we said earlier, though, trade high. trade Mason before they announce CMC's return, because that's when you're gonna get the highest value for him. But I don't know if Devontae's the trade for what you're offering, because we don't know where Devontae's gonna go, and I think that's significant.
Yeah, and it just
before you trade for somebody like that.
Devontae Adams is just it's just hard, dude. I feel like you could get more for Mason at this point because you're giving up 3, unless there's something else that you haven't provided us in your lineup. That if you got something else that we could see, the depth, Jordan Mason depth, Juju and Ladd McConkey depth, and you're just taking on Devontae as like a stash piece for now. Okay, but just these 4 names, no, I wouldn't. Okay, where you go? Okay, he said to go to the next question. Oh, yeah, this is what he said. He found us on Twitch. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. Okay, Banging says, should I start Chase Brown or James Cook this week? Well, the Jets are pretty much ass. What did they play last? They played what did Ty Chandler do against them last week? Ty Chandler went 14 attempts for 30 yards against the Jets last week.
I mean, according to this, Jets have a top tier rush defense.
They do. They're pretty good.
Number 4 on DraftKings and number 1 on FanDuel. For whatever that's worth on the difference, it just means that they have a solid run defense. That might be a reason maybe not to play Cook. If you're looking for a reason to not play Cook, I think that would be your reason.
20, I mean, he's had 19, 11, 11, 9, and 20 attempts. He had 82 yards against us last week, though. And we have a pretty decent run defense, too. So
yeah, you do. I think y'all were like number 1 or some shit. It's crazy.
Our pass defense is better, but I feel like at this point they've got to keep James Cook going. I personally, if I had James Cook, I would play him over Chase Brown. I have to play Chase Brown. The game lends itself to Chase Brown, but the fact of the matter is he's questionable. I think James Cook is questionable. Let me see.
Neither one of them have like crazy solid matchups, and at least with Cook, you know that he
Chase Brown is quad.
All
He's a quad injury. Yeah,
but he gets the entire back show for the most part.
And Zach Moss is back. I thought Zach Moss was supposed to be out this week, and he's not. So I would have to go James Cook. And if I had the choice, I'd go James Cook just because Buffalo doesn't really have anybody else.
I agree with that. Like I said, yeah, he's getting the whole backfield, and Chase Brown's not. And they both have tough matchups. So I thought maybe if Cincinnati had a much better matchup, maybe Chase Brown, but no, I would just go
and
Cook.
he's questionable. They're both questionable, but James Cook. Now pay attention to the game to the injury report tomorrow, and make sure
he's playing,
that both of them are playing it. So, and make sure that what you do there. But that's what I would do. I'd play Cook until otherwise. So now to War Eagles' big question here. Have these guys starting this week? Jaden Daniels, Monty, and Chuba, Gary Terry, MJH, Kincaid, Flex, and DJ, and he's on his bench. Burrow, James Cook, Eckler, BTJ.
I think I kind of answered this earlier. I would just watch.
I like BTJ
Alexander.
here. I like BTJ over DJ. Just because
DJ's gonna play, dude, and Carolina doesn't have anybody. He's PPR, so
2 hours ago.
But I like this dude's lineup.
It's nice.
Yeah. The stack with Daniels and Scary Terry is marvelous. Simply marvelous.
I don't think you go. Let me say it like this. I don't think you go wrong playing BTJ or DJ here, because I think the other ones are fine. I think your Jaden Daniels upside. This is his lineup is the lineup that brought us into the conversation of don't play fucking Joe Burrow last week. Mr. Abraham, don't listen to shit questions.
Mr. makes a whole nother account just to come in here and keep talking shit. Like, dude loves us. He talks shit, but he loves us.
But so yeah, I love the DJ. I mean the Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry stack. Dude, that lineup is so stacked, bro. Like, that's a nice lineup. I would be out here trying to farm people, bait your friends into bets, man. Say side bets, who you're playing against. I like that. Just pay attention. Like I said, it says that he's gonna play. It looks DJ's gonna play. It just scares me that it's an ankle. But Brian Thomas Jr. is probably going to get all the attention from the Bears defense tomorrow. So I think that's probably where your problem is. But they both have decent pass defenses they're going against tomorrow. BTJ and I wouldn't run Eckler out because of you limiting your upside against Daniels and Scary Terry. But I like Monty and Chuba. James Cook. Yeah, run Monty and Chuba out. I think it's fine. Both those are higher scoring games, so.
I think it's the Jason Ortiz question.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Jason? Sorry, man, we didn't see it. We're just going over questions now, so hopefully you're still here. Which two is better long term? Trey Sermon, Tyrone Tracy, Ty Chandler, Algier, Justice Hill. Oh my God, that's disgusting.
I think Justice Hill for one of them.
I like Tyrone Tracy though, man. I think that he showed last week, even though Devin Singletary, they're still committed to him. I think Tyrone Tracy's a good stash play for when Singletary is in or is not, and he's not playing.
When's he coming back?
Singletary?
Mm-hmm. That's something we need to know for this question.
He's still limited. I mean, he's limited in practice. He's with a groin injury, and he's a running back, man. You need that power in your groin to be able to push off. And I think Tyrone Tracy, even when Singletary was playing, I think Bijan
has got the backfield in Atlanta, and Algier is not. He's not getting enough.
He's always there when you don't need him to be there. Bijan should be a number one. But with what I'm saying with Tracy, he went 2 attempts, 1 attempt, 5 attempts, 4 attempts, 18 attempts without Devin Singletary. And Devin Singletary is limited in practice, so he could either play or he couldn't play. I still think he gets his snap count goes up above those 5 and 4 that he was when Singletary was good. I like him long term. Algier, it's just that that dude is.
So I'm saying he's only getting 30%.
How deep is your league is the question. Now, in our mine and Brad 14-man league, he's got to be rostered, but in other ones, I don't know if he's worth. I mean, 3, 9, 7, 8, 6. He's not been 2 points, 7 points, 3 points, 10 points, 5 points. He had 10 points against the damn best rushing defense that they played, and that was against the Saints. And that was because I think that was a lot of that was garbage time. So, Rolling Thunder says, what do you think of Jerry Jeudy tomorrow?
I was kind of looking at that. That's tough.
I don't like Deshaun Watson. That's the fucking problem. It's not Jerry Jeudy.
Dude, I liked him when he was on Houston. What the fuck happened after Houston?
So I don't know if John is still here from Sports for You, but they said he was a clone. They said he was cloned. He was cloned. They cloned his ass.
That makes sense because he's not the same.
They cloned him.
I mean, to answer in some numbers, Jerry Jeudy is on the field 82% of the time, and he gets 10 to 18% of the targets. It's not bad.
8 targets, 6 targets, 7, 9, and then
he's
last week
he's got a solid matchup tomorrow where I think he could do something.
But the thing is, they were getting their ass blowed out, and he only had 3 targets. That's the weird part. Deshaun Watson is the full-on driver of the Jerry Jeudy train. And if Deshaun Watson's not having a good day, which the defense in Philadelphia is halfway decent.
Is this I think this is a DFS question, right? DFS, I think it's a good play. I agree with Cody though. I don't like Watson. He sucks, but dude's coming in at 2% owned. He's got a good matchup, and he's on the field a lot, so he's got a shot to.
Oh yeah,
break the slate.
DFS, he could be a get different turdy type pick. Even though that we shouldn't say he's a turd, but he's kind of a turd. Jason says also start one Sutton, Eckler, or Madison if White's out. Man.
Season-long questions I'm no good at.
Yeah, that Cortland Sutton I think that dude was on any other fucking team.
Before we get to your question, Ghost, which is next, are you talking about Christian Watson or Deshaun Watson?
The Broncos play the Chargers. Targets are there. 12 targets, 4 targets, 11 targets, 9, 5. He's due for another 10 target plus game. What are the Chargers against a wide receiver? Actually, pretty good. I feel like Eckler's going to have to get in the end zone. But that game. Actually, I'll tell you if Let's see. Brian Robinson. I said Brian Robinson was hurt. Oh, he's out. He's officially out. Smash the like button on Eckler tomorrow. There you go. There's your answer because Brian Robinson is out. It says it now.
Yes, I knew somebody was in. I knew it was him. You were talking about BTJ earlier though. I was thinking of him.
Yeah, because the NFL Network did an update. I just saw it on ESPN right now. So that kind of can change your whole lineup there. I would Eckler because he's going to be the number one, and then from that was Tennessee a couple years ago is going to be the backup. So Eckler should be number one. I would start him. We'll come back to yours, Ghost. He says play Watson, so I don't know which Watson.
I don't know which one he's talking about.
I don't like either one. That just tells you the answer. Either one. Christian or Deshaun. Either one. Neither one. TD says happy weekend. 2 questions. Half PPR. Pick one. Sermon.
Happy weekend to you too.
Thanks for hopping in, man. Sermon, Tony G or Bigsby, and also half PPR. Pickens, JMO, or Amari Cooper. Okay, so you got Sermon, who's going to be a number one tomorrow. Gibby, Tony G is going to be a number one tomorrow, but I don't know if with Drake May, if they're going to actually do anything against my Texans tomorrow. Tank Bigsby got over 100 yards last week. It could happen. But I think the safe bet here is probably Sermon because of Anthony Richardson's back and he runs the ball. I think that's probably the safe bet.
I like the Sermon play. Half PPR. He gets getting targets, 13% targets last week. 50 or 40% rush attempts.
By the way, I have to play them both. I have to play Sermon and Gibson. So that tells you anything. I have to play them both. And then other side, pick one: Pickens, JMO, or Cooper. Well, that's 2 1s and a 2. That's the thing. Jameson Williams, if this was PPR, I like that play. You're looking for touchdowns and catches, but you're more erring on wanting a guy that's going to get into the end zone.
I like JMO just because of the game slate, even though he's the 2. And then I'm not too mad at the Brown side of the ball against the Eagles, so I might go Cooper.
Cooper's had 10 targets against Washington, and they were getting blowed out. So this is kind of like,
yeah, but it's half PPRs. I don't mean shit, but
we only have 4 receptions, by the way.
I would go JMO and Cooper.
Yeah, I don't like Pickens. I shit all over Pickens on Wednesday night when you guys weren't here. Pickens can't catch a fucking cold right now, man. And I don't know if, like I said then, I don't know if that is a Justin Fields problem, if that was a George Pickens problem, if that's an Artie Smith problem. But Cooper or JMO, unless you got like somebody that we don't know about, you're stacking them with. But that could be it. Jason says, I'm playing Lamar, Barkley, Kamara. What do you think of that? Well, I'm assuming that's a DFS thing. That's too high. The two very high owned players.
I like Kamara. But I think it's more than just too high owned. So Lamar is the highest owned. I'll tell you that. The number 1 highest owned player. Kamara is the 4th highest owned running back. Not too far off of the other ones. And Barkley is not that high owned. I don't dislike it.
Would it be Rob?
I think it could smash. The problem is if you're doing DFS, those 3 players are expensive. The rest of your lineup is going to be turds. I don't see how you make a solid lineup all the way to its core, forcing those 3 expensive players at the top who aren't even like in smash spots on paper. So like sometimes I can understand, like I got to play this player. He's in a smash spot. Maybe Lamar is, but he's high owned. So for DFS purposes, winning a contest with 400,000 people in it, I don't think Lamar's the play.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super happy with Lamar. I would rather go to Jaden Daniels over Lamar if I got to touch that game, which you should.
Yeah, I think if Lamar is popping off, that Daniels is popping off. Daniels is cheaper and he's lower owned, so he's probably getting you more value than Lamar is. How much is Lamar? Let me see. He's 7,800. So let's just say he's 8,000. He's got to get you about 30 points tomorrow to have value. And I don't know. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, he's also the most expensive quarterback. So when you play the most expensive quarterback, he has to get you more points than every other quarterback on the slate. And that's scary. Because that means if any other quarterback gets more points than him, then they got more value than him, and they're more likely to be in a Nets lineup over top of him.
The actual bet Barkley here, he's expensive, but I don't dislike him against the Browns, because if you look at what Eckler, Brian Robinson, and Jeremy McNichols all did against them last week, I think he could total all of that, because he's also can pass. He can also catch passes. I just don't. He's expensive if you're looking for all 3 of those. Huh?
Yeah, he's not that high owned either, so Barkley's probably a good play. But I don't think that you can make a successful lineup with that type of price going out in your lineup on 3 players. That's like 8,000 plus 8,000. Where's Barkley at? He's 8,200. So you got 24,000 out of your.
Oh man, look. Go down in the chat. Where you at, Jay? You out here letting us get trolled again, bro?
I'm telling you, the dude's just making account after account coming in here to talk and watch, but he obviously likes what he hears in here. He just thought maybe he could get a following talking shit. Yeah. Some trolls do. But to answer his question, I like when people like him do shit like that, because the rest of their lineup becomes shit, and they're forcing $3,000 players or $2,600 players in their lineup or double tight ends, and they lose. It's free money.
No, they don't, Ghost. B-Rob's hurt. They only got McNichols and Eckler. So just so you know that. Casey says Deshaun Watson going to have a crazy ass game against sorry ass Eagles. Sorry, bro.
It could happen.
I hope not.
Like I said, Deshaun was good in Houston. If he pulls any of that back out of his past, if he's not a clone, then
they need to
it could happen.
Get out of here. Oh my God.
Start two.
You said standard scoring. I want to vomit, right?
Ooh.
That's just total touchdown dependency right there.
And you got
I like Wandale probably. Wandale, because Wandale can run the ball. Wandale catches the ball.
And he can score.
Yeah, and you got a banged up Devin Singletary. No Malik Neighbors, who's still concussed. I think that's probably where you might go. So, and then
I like the Wandale play.
Yeah, I think it's just he has a better chance of getting in there. Thank you, Rolling Thunder. He's we're getting trolled right now. What's up, Search? Thanks for coming back, bro. Okay, so I think this is a question you brought to me on Wednesday, and I told you to bring him back. Flex 1, Tank Dell, George Pickens, D Johnson, Hopkins, Ridley, or Watson. So I said
Tell him Thunder.
I think I said to try, you could try Tank Dell because of no Nico Collins. This is what I was shitting all over George Pickens. I wish Brad was here to put his 2 cents in the matter, but I think your best bet here is upside is Tank Dell or DJ.
It's actually a good question right here.
Because all the defense, all the Patriots defense is going to go, like Christian Gonzalez is going to go to Stephon Diggs. It's going to go to Stephon Diggs. And that was my thing, is like, we got to throw the ball somewhere. And CJ is like, oh my God, I can see Tank Dell on the field. Like, there's no Nico Collins out there. Tank Dell is there. And that's why that was my thing. And Johnson he could score, and we liked that game. I don't dislike it. You don't have, obviously hopefully you're not running out Andy Dalton with a stack with DJ. If you have CJ Stroud, I'd go Tank Dell, but I don't like Pickens. I don't like D Hop, that I'd ever say that in my life. Calvin Ridley. I don't like Will Levis. So, and then Christian Watson is hurt. So it's really like boils down to looking at what your team has, and if you're not offsetting yourself, and what your opponent has. So if your opponent has somebody that like Tank Dell is going to hurt, I would play Tank Dell. Play with between your ears too, because you want to look at what's going to hurt your opponent 2 different ways, scoring wise and then scoring against them. So like, just say for instance, if they had the Patriots defense, I damn sure would want Tank Dell in there because I'm busting his ass twice. If he has Atlanta's defense, I want Johnson in there because I'm busting his ass twice. So that you gotta look at it like those kinds of things. Try to find as many ways to maximize the score as you possibly can. So I think it's on you to decide which one you think benefits your lineup the best. But I like Tank Dell or DJ, but DJ's kind of hurt, but they don't have anybody else to throw the ball to right now. So it's really like the best for you. Chandler, what's up, man? It's been a while, man. It's been a while. We ain't seen you since last season.
I like how Thunder was like, he hasn't scored all season. He hasn't.
Yeah. Smells brought this one back. Start 2, Tyrone Tracy, Deontay Johnson, BTJ. Well, everybody loves Deontay Johnson questions, man. It's been a George Pickens and Deontay Johnson fucking fanfare.
Well, I think Deontay's the only fucking target on that team. So if it's PPR, I think you play him.
It's still Devin Singletary still scares me. He didn't. They dropped it. Let's see. He's out. I think you got to go Tracy because he's the only running back that they've got. And they don't have Malik Neighbors. So I like Tracy. And then
we're still here in Florida, but we still here.
So no, we here, Chandler. We here, baby. We here every
Wednesday and Saturday every week.
Yeah, you know how it is. You got. We have all the socials, so I'll drop that in the link in the chat, so you can grab it out of there, so that you don't lose us. Follow us on all the social media, bro.
You've been winning, Chandler.
Obviously, he won something. He won something because he came back. He obviously was looking for us.
Where they at?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Tracy. I don't dislike BTJ or Deontay here. Smells. Who's your quarterback? Obviously, hopefully it's not Andy Dalton or Trevor Lawrence. Again, like I said, or should I start Tracy for Tank Bigsby? Because he says that here. Tracy for
Jeff?
sure. Or trade Tracy for Tank Bigsby. No. Same difference right now. Both are number 2s that play like number 1s. I don't think so. I wouldn't. Until they say Bigsby's going to be the full-time number 1, I wouldn't. It's just too up in the air. Like this week could be
it wasn't gonna be, right?
Yeah, Peterson said that ETN is going to be the number 1. So I think Tracy has the chance to, if this week he comes out and pops off and the Giants beat the could get a win, I think that he takes the spot. So
that man just came in here in a fucking life vest. It ain't flooded that much outside. I think Chandler got one down.
Yeah, I see it.
What's good, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff? Appreciate you popping in, man.
Slate. Give me Dubes because I like that Green Bay game.
Okay.
For the Doob.
I always like Romeo Dobbs. Dubes, Romeo. We're out there, Romeo. But Slayton, Goddard or Ingram.
No, he's. I'll wait. I'll wait on that one. Goddard or
I
Ingram?
like. Well, Ingram says that he's playing, but that doesn't mean shit. Like, you're going to load your lineup with that fucking asshole like I have for multiple weeks, and he needs right before game time, he's going to screw you over. So I would play Dallas Goddard until you've seen a full week of Evan Ingram actually existing on this face of the planet. I think it's a toss up with Dobbs and Slayton. I would see what happens with Christian Watson in the morning. If Christian Watson plays, you got to play Slayton because Christian Watson just throws another monkey wrench in that room with them. Slayton, there is no Malik Neighbors, so Slayton's gonna get catches. They're gonna have to throw it to somebody. It's either gonna be him or Wandale, and I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Eagles or Broncos defense.
Give me Broncos.
The way the Broncos have been playing, Patrick Surtain has been putting people to sleep.
Give me Broncos.
I think that you don't go wrong really with either one of those, but I like the Broncos too. We split the pot last year, 100.
You making money? That's what I'm talking about, Chandler.
We split the pot, 100 entry, 10 man, 6 each way. I would have lost. Glad I did. I'm 4 right now. It should be 5-0 after Sunday. Yeah.
Let's get it. Chandler's getting them doves.
Yeah, Chandler. We appreciate you coming back, bro. Just
on
hit
the
us up on all the stuff, all the links. What's up, Jeff?
Henry is not heavy chalk. Not heavy chalk. You can go to
Okay,
Henry.
hold up. Are you
actually? That is such a good play, man. I love that Jeff brought that up because that goes back to dude earlier talking all that shit.
Are you playing him in FanDuel or DraftKings? Because that's a good question. That's just a follow-up question. Then
I think he could play him in either one. He's only 10% owned. He's like the 8th highest owned running back, which is straight. But what is so great about him is that Lamar is the highest owned quarterback. So it is perfect leverage off of Lamar. So if our motto is always get different. Yeah, do something different than what the field is doing because it's easier to hope that the field is wrong. And if they are, you kill it. You make a shit ton of money. If the field is right and you play exactly what they play, then you're all splitting money. You're not making much. So in other words, if you play Lamar and he throws a touchdown tomorrow, you ain't go nowhere. You went from fucking 290,000th place to 180,000th place. You're not going to first, second, third, top 10, none of that. I think Henry is a good get different.
He's doing it again, bro. He's out here doing it again. I don't matter. I play what I want when I want. Okay.
Hey,
You obviously love us that damn much that you cycled through multiple accounts.
cycling.
So bad.
But either way, now you're thinking, right? So now you're thinking, Henry. He's not heavy chalk, and he's leverage off the chalk. And if Lamar isn't, eating, it's because Henry is.
What? I'm lost.
I am too. I don't know.
I'm so lost. Smells.
Texans or Chargers defense and
Texans,
Stroud or Love. I like Love.
Texans defense, and you could go Love because I don't feel like the game has to play high for.
Thank you, Chandler. We appreciate you, bro. Keep winning.
Yeah, let us know. We love to know when you win. You know that. You said. Oh, your words. You said FanDuel or DK. I said. Oh, I was saying. Do you play?
Or is it GPP or cash? Like, are you talking about playing Henry in like a double up, a head to head, or are you talking about playing Henry in like a contest with like 300,000 people in it? You pay $1, and first place is like 30,000.
Yeah, so that's what we're saying. Like, you playing cash and do you play FanDuel or DraftKings?
So if you're playing cash, which means in our lingo means like a double up or a head to head, I don't think you play Henry. If you're playing him in GPP, like a dollar contest that pays 30 grand, I think you're playing Henry. I think that's a good play. Well, I mean, it matters. So when you no. So cash ain't nothing to do with like cash money in your hand. We know you're playing for real money. That's not what we mean by cash. So what we mean by cash is we separate contests into two categories: GPP or cash. GPP are guaranteed prize pools. Those are the ones that pay $1 million to first place if you hit it, or 300,000 or 100,000 to first place. Those are your guaranteed prize pools. We're not pocket watching. And cash is like your double ups. So you play for $5,
50-50s.
You got to be out.
50% of the field wins money.
So yeah, GPP, I would play Henry. In cash, I wouldn't. And the reason I say that is because you want to play higher owned players in cash because you only have to beat out 50% of the people. So you're not like taking stands on people in cash times. You're playing like high floor where they can't, if they fail, it isn't a big fail. It's not a boom or a bust. It's damn, Derrick Henry costs fucking 8K, but he got me 16. That would work in cash. That's not going to work in GPP, as you know. So I think Henry's a good play in GPP tomorrow for those reasons. And I hope you understood our lingo for separating the two different.
And Jeff, if you for real, bro, like I'm sorry. We've had someone keep coming into the show tonight that's changed his name multiple times and asked a bunch of weird questions and started
coming
a bunch
in
of
here
shit.
stirring shit. So
my bad, dude. I literally the question sounded a little bit like something that he'd said before, so my fault.
We kind of touched base on that a little bit, Chandler. That's a boomer bust play, man. GPP, fuck it, do it. You could.
I mean, especially if you're at 150 max, you can't because you can't go wrong with that. Don't they all, Jeff? Don't they all?
Yeah, we can't be losing 500 on a Sunday because we got to divvy it up too. We got to have the fantasy lineups and we got to have the sports bets. I think they both got high upside. I like your thought process on Henry better though. Kamara's high owned, and Barkley is Barkley. It's so tough, dude. He's got high upside though. I think Barkley's a good play, but he's expensive. I don't think you can afford Barkley and Henry in the same lineup and still like have solid money for like solid players throughout the rest of the lineup. You're gonna end up punting some really cheap 3K player or like two tight ends where one's 2,600 and you're like living on a prayer at that point.
I mean, the ownership, like 8,200, dude, like you could get such like there's better matchups in the same amount of ownership with like Josh Jacobs and James Conner for the same price you can get or like for the same amount of ownership you can get Saquon Barkley for. Now 8,200 is just so he's the most expensive, literally, right? Actually, the most expensive running back on the slate for DraftKings purpose. So, hey, if he hits, man, if Rattler hits, let us know, dude. I'm not saying it, but I don't know.
I think
And
he
if
could.
you're,
He's a boomer bust
20,
play.
in 20 max, I don't think you get to him though. I feel like there's at least if you're going one or two quarterbacks like Phil and I do, maybe four tops. If you're doing 5 lineups of 4 different quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler is not one of them. 150, absolutely.
It also depends on how many lineups you're playing in those. Are you playing 150
now,
lineups
this is
and 150
this
max?
is a FanDuel, and it's that FanDuel shit where you got like 150 max and they're a fucking nickel. Okay. Yes, absolutely. But yeah. I mean, Hutchinson could take away like a lot of that. It could take that stuff that Nico is reserving tomorrow, is giving up.
Target's
But
got to go around
got to
somewhere.
go somewhere. But I think that this is. I don't think that game's high scores high enough for it to for it to work. That Hutchinson matters. It might. But as a Texans fan, I don't think so. Something about the Patriots always kind of get in our damn heads. It's an organizational thing, which is weird. But I think we beat them, but I don't think we beat them the way we should. I feel like we should fucking hang 50 on them, but we're not going to. Anderson, Foxborough? No. Hey man, this is our exact motto right here. That's it's get different. You got to grab those guys, but some of them you just got to know which get different play it is and which guys you got to hit that one guy. So, but yeah, y'all. So I think we are done with the questions for tonight. Hit us up on all the socials. We appreciate all the love and all the support.
Appreciate the questions. Appreciate the trolls.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all there. It's all real time. You guys saw it here first.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Trying to help everybody out. We're not always right, but hopefully,
thanks, Chandler.
Mix what we say with a little bit of what you think, and
and let us know, man. If you hit and do stuff, like if you do great, like
thanks, KC.
Thanks, KC. Chandler. We appreciate it. And if you guys do hit, like, you let us know because we want to know. Because if you win, we win, right? So that's the thing. Y'all keep it up.
We don't go through all the games, Tommy. We go through the ones that we think are worth covering for DFS purposes. We try to touch base on some players throughout all the games, and then when y'all ask questions, we obviously touch on more. As you see, this podcast went 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we hit 4 games that we like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if we talked about all of them, we'd be here all night. Nobody wants to watch 5-6 hour podcasts. So
yeah, we appreciate it. Appreciate you coming back, Morph. So
appreciate all of you, even the haters. I still hope y'all win. I hope you actually come in here. I told that one guy in like week 3 about Cam Akers. I hope you come in here the next week and tell me I was wrong. But we were right and he didn't show up. I don't want it to be like that. So, come in here, talk your shit, but don't talk shit, idiots, morons. You and your 9th account, can just get banned. There you go. Thank you. They just wanted to get banned on his 9th account.
I just banned him. Just banned. I'm done. Yeah. Shadow bans, bro. I ain't even got time for that shit.
He's gonna come in on his 9th account. He's gonna talk all of them. He loves us. He loves us so much that he sat through 2 hours and 15 minutes
just to troll.
But he's also like secretly writing shit down as we talk and using.
And they're gonna say that it was his idea. But anyways, all right, y'all. Well, we appreciate it. We're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Actually, and dropping in on Sports for You podcast on Tuesday night to talk a little fantasy with those guys too. So
truly wish y'all the best, man. I hope y'all win it. Come in here and show some screenshots. Talk about the wins.
Yep. All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.